Hi pregnant parents, welcome and thank you for joining me, Ariella, for this week's prenatal yoga video. I hope you've had a wonderful week and I'm glad that you're here. So in this video we're going to be working a lot on our hips, so if you have a lot of tension in your hips or your hips have been feeling a little lately, then this is a great thing for you to try and you can let me know how it made you feel. So as with any class, I always start by saying to check in with your care provider just to make sure that any of these postures are all of these postures are safe for your baby. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me for alternatives. I'm going to be offering you some variations and prop assists that may help it feel a little bit more accessible into your body. As with any class, prenatal or not, listen to your body. If something feels absolutely horrible, doesn't feel right in your body, don't do it. Now of all times, you should always listen to your body, but now of all times, you should definitely tune into your body and see what it's telling you and how it's feeling. So I will not be playing music with this class, so if you have another device, if you want to put on your favorite playlist, absolutely go ahead and do that. Some people like to practice without music and some people do, so I make it easy and just don't play music. That and music costs money to license and I don't have a lot of that right now. So, and I think that's it. I'm going to be leading you into Shavasana and I'll be leading you out of Shavasana. So during Shavasana you won't hear anything, it'll just be silence, but the video is still going. But feel free to come out of it whenever you like and adjust as much as you need. For this class, I would suggest if you have yoga blocks at home or something that you can use in place of yoga blocks, I definitely recommend them for some of the half splits that we're doing. So you can use blocks, you can use a book, you can use some children's toy, a basket. I do have a video on my YouTube channel that shows a couple of alternatives for blocks, so you can always check that out as well. I'm not fancy enough to do that little, hey, check this out video out here. I have no idea how people do that. I'm still learning how to use iMovie, so I'm sorry that I cannot offer that little check out this video here thing. If anybody wants to help me with that, I would gladly take it. So if you'd like, I have a blanket here for my knees when we get down onto our knees. So you can do that as well. And I'm sitting up on a bolster, so you can use a bolster if you have one. You can use a couple of firm pillows. You can actually do this beginning seated sequence sitting in a bed or a chair. You don't need to sit on the floor if it's not comfortable. Increasing, sitting up a little bit taller, letting your hips, letting your knees come down. Sorry, it's allergy season for me. So having your knees come down a little bit below your hips kind of opens everything up a little bit, creates a little bit more space, which I know as our babies get bigger, our bodies just seem to have less and less space because our babies are just getting bigger and everything is feeling cramped, and we're trying to create as much space as we can. So we're going to come into a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you. And just take some time to mentally arrive on your mat. Maybe close your eyes. Or maybe just keep your gaze soft. And take some big deep breaths in through your nose. Breathing into your chest. Maybe put your hands on your heart. And you can send your breath there. And it's very hard to do those big belly breaths that were easier before we had a little person inside of us. And it's easy. If you'd like, you can also bring your hand to your belly. Send some love to your baby. Send some calm. It's part of your practice to set an intention, it's a thought or an idea to focus on or work towards. I invite you to do so. And take a big breath in through your nose. Pause at the top for a moment, and then side out. Inhale. Pausing at the top. And then side out. Just do that a couple more times on every sigh. Just let go of something. Release something. Release something that no longer serves you. Release stress. Release any negative thoughts or energy that are just not serving you right now. And then with every inhale, breathe in love and compassion. Compassion for yourself, compassion for others. And when you're ready, you can flutter open your eyes if they are closed. And we're going to be starting with some side bends. So if you're sitting up high, you might want to bring maybe your block if you're using them to the side, or depending on the openness that you have in your body and in your side body, you might be able to bring your hands either tented or flat down. And we're going to start by taking a big breath in, up, inhaling up, reaching up towards the sky. Feel the space created. And then bring your right hand down either to your block or tenting your fingers. And then just bring your left arm up and over. We are keeping our hips down on our bolster or on whatever surface that we're sitting on. Come down, coming back to center, inhaling our arms back up. Exhale your left arm down, right arm comes up and over. And again, we're keeping both of our hips level on the seat. So it might be tempting to kind of lift our hip up to kind of increase that stretch. But to increase the stretch, keeping the hip on our surface is the most helpful. And then reaching through the armpit, not with the hands. So you might want to reach with the hands, but reaching through the armpit is really what gives you that stretch in the side body. And release. And we're going to take a back bend. So inhale, arms come up overhead. And then cactus at your arms, a goalpost at your arms, and then just look up. So opening through the chest, chest is coming up. If you want to increase the stretch and you have the mobility, you can bring your hands down to your lower back to your bolster. You can interlace your fingers. However you want to do this back bend and this chest expansion is up to you. However it feels good. If you start to feel a pinch in your back, just stay away from that. Keeping the shoulders back, the chest up, and then slowly coming back down to center. So we're just going to flow a little bit. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, right hand down, left arm over. And back to center. Inhale. Exhale, over. Coming back up to center. And then goalpost out your arms. So moving with your breath, inhaling as you reach up, exhaling as you bend. When we do this, we are working with the anatomy, and we're working with the way our diaphragm fills up with air. One time around. So reaching up, bending over. Then release back down to center. I'm going to change the crossings of your legs. Now, if you're sitting cross-legged, change the crossings of your legs. And maybe you bring your hands to your knees or to your thighs, and we're gonna do some seated cat-cow. So on our inhale, broaden through your chest and our gentle back bend. So again, chest is opening, shoulders are back. And then on your exhale, round your spine. Our shoulders are coming in, chin is heading towards the chest, spine is rounded. Inhale, again, broaden through the chest. Exhale, round. Now how much you round is going to depend on how big your baby is. So if you're in the early stages of your pregnancy, you might be able to round a little bit more. If you're in later stages of your pregnancy, you might be able to round a little bit less. And we're also going to do these cat and cows on our hands and knees, which helps a little bit for space. So we do one more round and then come back to a comfortable seated position. And then when you're ready, we're going to come to our hands and knees, coming into tabletop. So I'm going to remove my bolster out of the way. We'll be using it later. And again, I have a blanket for my knees. And if you are having some discomfort in your wrists, you can either put something soft, like another blanket underneath your wrist. You can come up onto your fist if that feels better, or you can come down onto your forearms. That will take everything out of your wrists as well. And if you feel like you really just can't handle it, you can continue on with cat and cow seated, and then you can meet us for the hip work that we're going to be doing. So coming into your cat and cow, coming into your table, we're going to start with cat and cow again. So inhale, exhale, round. Inhale, exhale. Just keep following your breath. And if there's any other organic movements you'd like to take, feel free to take them. You want to do some hip circles or sway side to side. From here, come back into your tabletop. Extend your your right foot out. And then bring it out to the side, but in between your hip and your hands. Now your foot is kind of in between both of them. It's out to the side, and then just start to move back and forth. This is not an official yoga posture. It is referred to as juicy hips in the prenatal yoga world because it feels really good in your hips. Something to remember too is that when we are pregnant, we have relaxin in our joints, which allows our hips to expand and make room for baby. But it doesn't just focus in on, it doesn't just focus in our hips, it's in like all of our joints. So if you feel like you are a little bit more flexible, you are, but you can still overexert yourself. So try not to take it further than you would if you weren't pregnant. And then from here, we're going to come into lizard. So just move that foot now to the outside of your right hand, at the edge of your mat. And if you'd like a little bit more stretch in your left hip, you can tuck your toe and then draw your knee back just a bit. This is where you can use your blocks. I'm using blocks for lizard. Knee seems to be bothering me today, which is why there might be some funny faces in this video. And then from here, straighten your right knee. Take your blocks with you if you're using them. Come up straight. Inhale. And then exhale. Fold forward as much as you can. With a flat back, holding at the hips. So you may feel this all in here. And take your blocks with you and you can walk them back out, back into lizard. And if you'd like, you can hang out in one or the other, or you can follow your breath and flow between the two, adding a little bit more movement to your hips. So just kind of see what your body feels like today. Maybe you need more movement, maybe you need more stillness. And when you're ready, come back into lizard. Planting your hands, slowly bring that leg back to table. You can do a couple of hip circles here, you can shake out your leg, whatever you gotta do, and just notice how your right hip might feel different than your left hip. Just kind of, just observe it, the differences in our body. Again, coming back into our table, we're going to do the other side now. So extend the left foot out, and then again, bring it to the side, off the mat, kind of just behind your hands. And just start to move forward and back. You can circle just to give some movement into that hip. We'll get ready for lizard. So take your foot, bring it to the outside of your left hand this time. Tuck your toes, draw your knee back for more stretch in the right hip. Use your blocks. And you can come down as far as you'd like to. If you don't want to use blocks, if you want to come down to the mat, wherever you're at. I'm going to start to straighten that left knee. Take your blocks with you. Come up almost straight. Straighten the back, and then hinge forward at the hips with the flat back. And that's how you get that stretch kind of in your hamstring. And again, come down as far as feels right in your body and where your belly is, and I'll let you go. And then again, you can take your blocks and you can move from lizard to half splits. You don't necessarily need to bring your blocks with you. Rock back and forth, and just see what feels right in your body, or you can just stay in one or the other. And what you feel like you need on one side might be different than what you do on the other side, and that's normal. And then when you're ready, we'll come back, heel toe your foot out, and bring your foot back to the table. Do some hip circles, whatever you need to do. We're going to come into puppy. So extend your hands up to the top of the mat, keeping your hips over your knees, Bring your head down in between your elbows. And you can always bring your head to a bolster. If you need to keep your knees wider too, you can if you need to make room for your belly. Typically puppy is a good posture because it leaves room for your belly, but everybody's body is different. So if you need to adjust by bringing your hands and your knees wider, I invite you to do that. And wherever you are, come back up to center, coming back into the table. Now we're going to come into Malasana. So we're going to keep our feet wide, tuck our toes, and then we're going to come into a low squat. So we've done this in a couple of other videos. If you need, if your heels don't come down to the ground, which they might not, you can always bring a blanket underneath your heels. If you want, you can take a bolster and some blocks, or even a stool. So maybe you have like a little step stool. Maybe you have a little step stool handy. Like I have one that my son uses to wash his hands, and when I would do bath time, I would sit in that stool, and it would kind of put me in this supported squat position, and it was a really good hip stretch while he was like hanging out in the bath. So see what you need. If you can't come directly into this position, that's okay. Other options are bringing the blanket underneath your heels or sitting down on something like a bolster. And then when we're ready, we are going to stand up without using our hands. So bear down into your feet, and then when you're ready, just lift up. If you're a first-time parent, you are going to find yourself trying to move around without your hands a lot. Trying to get up off the floor with a crying child or toys, you're going to be doing it a lot if you're not already doing it. So I'm going to move my blanket out of the way. I'm going to come to the top of my mat. Now's a good time to take a drink of water, shake it out. I'm going to come to mountain. So mountain, my feet are about 2 fist width apart. Or if you feel like you need a little bit more space, especially now that your center of gravity is a little bit shifted, you can open up your feet so wherever you feel like you have equal weight distribution across your feet. That is more important than, feeling stable is more important than having 2 fists with different distance between your toes. So shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted. You can bring your hands to the side if you'd like, and just reconnect with your breath. And from here, we're going to step into Warrior 2. So bring your right foot back so that whoa, it might not be a good balance day for me, guys. So your front foot, your toes are pointed to the front of the mat. Your back foot, the back edge of your foot is in line with the pinky toe side of your foot is in line with the back edge of your mat. Your hips are open to the side, and your gaze is over your left hand. So now how wide you want to take this stance is up to you. Your front knee is bent. In this posture, our knee is not going over the ankle. Shoulders are down. If you need help with balance, you can always sit up near a wall. You can always have a chair nearby. Inhale, flip your front palm, and gently send it back to reverse warrior. This back hand can stay on your thigh, or you can take a half bind. And then come back, Warrior 2. And now turn your left foot to the side. So now both your feet are facing the side of your mat. Open them up about 45 degrees-ish. You're in a nice open, wide stance. We're gonna take goddess here, so you might adjust after you come into goddess. So again, figure out where you feel the most stable. If you need a chair, a wall, pause this video and go grab them. At any point you can do that, it's totally okay. So inhale, we're gonna open up our hands, coming into star. And then inhale, arms come up overhead, and on your exhale, sink down, bending your knees. Yeah, I have to adjust my feet. You can heel toe out. And you can stay here, or if you want to take a side stretch, you can bring your, you can bring one hand down to your knee and side stretch over. Bring the other hand down to your knee and side stretch over. If that feels good in your body, you can do that. If you just want to hang out here in goddess, that's good too. And then re-straighten those knees. Bring the arms down. And now we're going to take warrior two on the other side. So your left foot is going to turn, so the pinky toe side is in line with the back of your mat, is parallel with the back of your mat, or the front of your mat. I don't know, guys. I'm filming this on Sunday, and it's been kind of a week. Sunday after election, it's been kind of a week. So please bear with me. So your left foot is pointing forward. You have a bend in your knee. I'll get it. You should see me during live classes. Bend in your front knee. Gaze is over your your right fingertips. Flip your front palm, send it back. Reverse warrior. Back, warrior two. And then we're going to come back into our wide-legged stance, coming back into star. So bringing the feet back to the 45-ish degrees. Arms are reaching out long. Inhale, exhale, back down to goddess. So again, you can take your stretches here if they feel good. You can do that. You can just hang out here in goddess. If you want to work on strength, you can pick up your feet, your heels, and come onto your toes. And release, come back to center, and then heel toe your feet back together. Shake it out. And we're going to come down to the floor. So from here, we're going to go to the front of our mat. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold forward, nice and slow. Open up your feet as much as you need to make space for your body. You bring your hands to blocks if you need. And then you can bring your knees down, coming into child's pose. So you can open up your knees, bring your toes together. And then you can bring your hands to the top of the mat if you'd like. You can rest your head on a block or a bolster, whatever feels comfortable. And slowly release back up. And from here, we're going to set up our recliner. So if you'd like, you can do this in bed if you're in your bedroom, or if you have a block, if you have several blocks and pillows, or whatever you need to kind of give yourself a little bit of a recline. If you're early in your pregnancy and you feel comfortable being on your back, and you don't have any have any contraindications for not being on your back. Pregnancy itself is not a contraindication of being on your back. Your body will tell you that it can no longer be on your back. But being inclined can definitely feel a little bit more comfortable, and it can help kind of ease a little bit of that constriction that you feel. So after you've set up your reclined space, you bring your legs out long. Inhale, lengthen, and then we're just going to slowly ease down onto our little ramp. And we're going to take Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle. So bring the bottoms of your feet to touch. And then your knees can be out wide. If your knees don't come all the way down to the ground like mine do, which is totally fine, this is an anatomy thing, not I've been doing yoga for a long time thing. You can bring blocks. I use my blocks for the ramp, that's why I can't find them. So you can bring extra blocks or a blanket underneath your knees to give them a little bit more support. You're going to let your hands hang down. Again, you can bring them to blankets, pillows, blocks, whatever it is, whatever you would like to make this feel a little bit more restful for you. Kind of opens up the chest a little bit. And if this posture feels comfortable for you, you are welcome to stay in it for your final Shavasana. You can take any postures that would feel comfortable in your final Shavasana. And when you're ready, you can get settled in, you can get comfortable. If you'd like to move to a bed or a comfortable chair, wherever you'd like to spend a little bit of time in meditation and stillness. And when you're ready, close your eyes. And maybe just keep your gaze soft. And bring one hand to your chest and one hand to your belly. And with every inhale, imagine that you're breathing in bright white light. And as you inhale, that light is filling up your body. It's traveling through your nose, down into your lungs, and from there it's branching off, filling your body, embracing your baby with white, comforting light. And every time you breathe out, just relax a little bit more. Let something go. Just feel your body ease. to bring some movement into your fingers and toes. Deepen your breath. And wherever you are, start to come back into your body. If you're still on your recliner, your legs are not out long, just let them come out long for a moment. And then picking a side, roll onto your side, coming onto one hip, and using your hands for support. And just stay there for a moment, letting your blood pressure readjust. And remember that you have lots more blood in your body right now. And then when you feel ready, use your hands to help you come up to a comfortable seated position. And close your eyes or keep your gaze soft. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart to feel it beat. And feel your breath, your chest rise and fall with your breath. Show yourself gratitude today for your practice, for coming to your mat. Say thank you to your body for everything that has done for you today and every day. I bow my head in gratitude to you for letting me be a part of your journey. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much, everybody. Till next time. Bye.